it's Dr. Amanda with StraightSmile Solutions, StraightSmileSolutions.com, and I'm going to introduce to you today a concept called appointments on demand for your orthodontic patients. And you can use this concept for consults, for check-ins, for appointments. There's so many things you can do with this. You can buy these in bulk from Amazon or eBay for about $1 a pop. It's really cheap. So, there's little ones, there's big ones. But let me explain how I recommend using them. And I have a lot of doctors that I work with who are using these. And I actually got this idea. Well, to be honest, obviously part of this is extracted from the direct-to-consumer industry. But also I got this idea from a lot of orthodontists who started using this during COVID. And what a lot of orthodontists are doing is they're not doing appointments. No, you get your braces on or you get your Invisalign, you come in, you get your stuff. And from there on out, you don't get an appointment next month or in 8 weeks or in 10 weeks. There's no appointments. What you're going to do is you're going to get a kit. And your kit's going to contain ideally this and one set of this. Or ideally this and one of these. You can do that. Either a big one for an adult or an older teen, a little one for a little kid. Obviously, these come in a couple different sizes, so you need to size it depending on the age. But this and one of these. Or you could just do one set of this. Either way, you can play around with it. Anyways, it's about $1. It's not expensive. You give it to the patient at your bonding appointment, at your delivery appointment, okay? You can even, if you take a step back, you can even mail it to your patient and use it for a virtual consult instead. Even smarter, with a nice kit with some instructions. A lot of people are doing that too. And have them send a series of photos, like I said, like the direct-to-consumer aligner companies do. And I have a really nice handout with some directions and some samples, and I'm glad to send this to you. It is totally free. You can just email me at info@straightsmilesolutions.com. I'll gladly send you that handout. You can just rebrand it. You can use my photos. I give you permission. Go ahead. They belong to me. You can have them. So just put your logo on them, take mine off. That's all I ask. It's my gift to you. And you can capture that data ahead of time. Now, of course, you need to be using a HIPAA compliant platform. You can use turnkey ones like Dental Monitoring or Align Flow, or you can create your own if you have HIPAA compliant email or a HIPAA compliant text messaging system like Doxy.me. Lots of options out there. I'm going to assume, I'm not going to go into the whole HIPAA thing because you should know how to do that. You should know you can't just text photos from a patient or email regular photos from a patient, okay? So find what you want to use. Again, AlignFlow is probably the most cost-effective one that's out there. That's a turnkey program that has a dashboard, everything like that. But anyways, regardless how you want to do it, get the data, okay? Whether you're screening patients and using it for virtual consults, or whether you are using it as check-ins. Do not give your patient an appointment. They get a kit with one of these and one of these or two of these, and then you tell them to check in at a certain frequency. So whenever maybe a week or two before you'd normally want to see them. So for a braces patient, and I'm talking braces patients too. For braces patients, normally in the night-tie stage, I'm going to see them every 8 weeks or so. So I'll have them at 6 or 7 weeks. I'll tell them to send their photos. Okay, then I'm going to take a look. I'm going to see what's going on. What does that tell me? It tells me lots of things. You could even have them do it on a regular frequency. You could have them do it every month if you want. It's just photos. What can I tell? I can tell lots of things. Hygiene. I can tell if there's broken wires. I can tell if wires are out of slots. I can tell if the wires are engaged, if there's broken brackets for the most part. So many things I can tell, right? So what this does, obviously for braces patients, you're going to have to see them in office, but sometimes you don't need to, And sometimes it's really, really nice to get your tray prepared and know what you're doing ahead of time. Am I fixing broken brackets? Am I changing wires? Or am I just retying? That tells me exactly, I can tell you so many times when I was working full-time in ortho office, we were just chugging, giving our patients appointments every month, and sometimes they really didn't need to come in. Matter of fact, 50% of the time they really didn't need to come in, and sometimes they needed to come in a long time ago. So if you put them on a regular frequency of virtual check-ins and then assign appointments as needed afterwards, you'll know exactly what you need to do, how long they need, what supplies you need. You can have the whole tray made up and labeled already. You know exactly what you need. The doctor has already checked it and written in the chart what's needed. So it's a really, really great opportunity to literally you're going to save massive amounts of overhead because you're going to cut down your chair time easily by 50%, which means more unoccupied chairs means less staff. So less doctor time, less money, and that's more money that can be spent on other things you need in your practice or new patients, right? So, or the patients that really need to come in. That's the main thing. So some people think that doing this is going to devalue the patient experience, but really, if you explain it to your patients, the why behind it, I like to say, especially during COVID, this is the time to do it because people don't want to go to a doctor if they don't need to. If they don't need to go, they don't go, you know? And the funny thing is, I got this idea actually from my own personal physician and my own dermatologist. They do the same thing. They don't even do in-person appointments unless needed. They do a virtual appointment before they do the in-person appointment to see what's needed and if it's really needed. And sometimes it's not, both of them. So they're going to look at that thing on your arm and then they're going to tell you if you still need to come in. Sometimes you don't, especially for easy stuff. So same concept. Everyone else is doing it. So I don't think it's going to be as strange to your patients as you think it is, especially if you explain it the right way. Okay. So again, what do we need? We're going to have them do their check-ins. I want to see with retractors, if you're giving them this and one of these, then this is used in the front, one slightly open, one closed, okay? The side one is going to be this, pulled all the way back, slightly open, all the way closed, biting all the way down, same thing on the other side, slightly open, biting all the way closed. And then I also want to see a top and a bottom. That one you can probably do, you know, without, I mean, these aren't going to be perfect pictures. We're not using mirrors, right? It's just screening basically. That one you can probably do just with the photos. Have the demo photos. Even better if you can make a demo video showing how you want it and put it on your website. That's a super smart idea. You can use that content that I have as well. You're welcome to use it as long as you rebrand it. And even better, if you want to give them a couple strips of articulating paper, have them chomp down on it, tap, tap, tap. Of course, you want to make a video showing them how to use it, but that tells me a lot during treatment. If there's occlusion, what things are touching, especially in aligners. Also in phase 1, not so much needed in braces, you know, unless you're trying to close a bite or something like that, or you have bite tabs on or something like that. But yeah, that's the point of appointments on demand. With aligner cases, with removable appliances, your twin blocks, your bionators, your Invisalign, things like that, there is really no reason you need to see them in your office. You could pretty much do most of your appointments virtually. Of course, if they need a refinement, yeah. If they need more attachments, yes. If they need IPR, yes, but that's not every appointment. You can totally just have them pick up the aligners and do the virtual screening, or you can mail it to them. Even easier, you know? Save them a ton of time. You still looked at their case. You still, you know, taking a look. Braces, you're still going to have to see them, but you can see them less frequently. And you can also get the trays all set up. So let's tell you a little bit more about how that works with StraightSmile Solutions. Now, StraightSmile Solutions is the consultancy company that I own. We help train general pediatric dentists and even new grad orthodontists how to do more and better ortho. So a lot of times you're going to want us to look at your cases. Great, sure, you know. We do have options called like on-call, where we can be on-call for you in real time, but a lot of times, most time, the doctors will just snap pictures, upload it into a secure portal, or show us later in a Zoom meeting, and we go over the cases. But if you really want to have the answer before the patient walks in the office, then if you're using this, you're getting these a week or two before you make the real appointment. We already know what we're going to do. Are we repositioning brackets? Are we changing wires? Are we starting elastics? So many things we can tell from this series of, 6 to 8 photos. Slightly open, also closed, with retractors. Even if they're not great, they're good enough to at least get an idea of A, if the patient needs to come in, or B, if the patient cannot come in, or C, if there's broken brackets or we need to change wires. At least we have it all set up. We have things ordered if we need them, etc. What else? What about expanders and functional appliances, phase 1 stuff? Well, it's also helpful to have those photos because we're going to know, do we need to keep turning? Are we done turning? Do we need to shave the appliance? Is it time to place brackets? A lot of things we can take a look at. So again, this is going to save you a heck of a lot of chair time. It's going to save you a heck of a lot of money. This is a $1 investment per patient. That will cut your overhead dramatically. And it's really, really easy to implement. You just need to decide what system you're going to use to implement it. There's free systems. That's going to be a little more messy because the photos are going to have to come in. You're going to have to somehow download them in a HIPAA compliant way and then upload them to your database, however you want to do it. So it is a lot of work. So it depends on, do you want it to be more manpower, or do you want to invest in an align flow or dental monitoring so it's all within a dashboard? The nice thing about the dashboard is that it's all there, right? So the patients upload it directly to the dashboard. They get alerts that come from there. Hey, time for you to upload your photos. There's an app, click, 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 click. You can even white label the app if you want to spend a little more. It can have your logo on it. That's even cooler. And then it goes into the dashboard. You get an alert, doctor gets alert, or whoever's screening it. And a lot of times the people who are screening it is your team members, which is cool. And you can totally train your team members to do it. Now, remember, they don't make any of the final opinions. They're just screening it. They're looking for things, and then they're bringing them to you. If the doctor wants to do all the screenings, that's fine too. You know, it doesn't matter, especially if your volume's not that high. But ultimately, to scale, you want to get a trusted team member to do the initial screening and then just look for red, problems, I guess. In terms of how StraightSmile solutions work, we can totally log into those dashboards as well. Take a look at it if you have questions or concerns. So in any case, glad to help you with this system. It's a pretty innovative idea, but I highly recommend it. All right, thanks.